So if you've ever played Dot Hack, Pluto's Kiss is something that very rarely comes up, but it's one of the biggest events in the whole Dot Hack trilogy. And it didn't happen in real life, but just in the game series. And so basically what happened was it was a 77-minute catastrophe that made all the computers and the internet and even nuclear codes and some other stuff too that caused everything to go haywire. Well, eventually, upon investigation, it was actually a self-destruction virus that was actually written by a 10-year-old California boy by the name of Warren Brock. However, though, Warren Brock and his family were eventually confronted by U.S. government agents, and they were eventually put in the eyewitness protection program because Warren actually had great technology pieces and all that. So they wanted to harbor his hacking abilities. Well, what happened was they ended up changing his entire family's location, occupations, and even names. Well, fast forward to Dot Hack Outbreak 3 of the original trilogy and Quarantine Part 4. If you actually were to play as Wiseman and actually dig into his history, you come across the idea that he's actually known as another 10-year-old boy, despite him being like he looks like he's very old, and he sells information to people for money in exchange for information. Well, fast forward to Warren Brock, and if you actually compare the similarities to what we do know, it's very possible that Warren Brock is, in fact, Wiseman, the guy that the Japanese 10-year-old boy that actually lives in Japan. Because they never they say he's from California, but they never tell you what his nationality is. So to sit here and say that there's not like some kind of a weird connection there, is just kind of out of the ordinary, because if you play GU, which takes place 7 years later, this is when he'd be 17 at this point, you find out that he does accelerate at, the sports that he wanted to do, the same sports as Warren Brock and all that. And you find out that they shared too much in common. He became a private sector security division team, and he made a lot of different things. He had so much superior knowledge on information hacking, and you can see the character resemblance in real life. And then there's even other characters that he played as. I believe it was Yata too, and there's a couple other ones. But he made so much money by leading people on. They didn't really tell you who he really was. So he was a good businessman in real life. He was a good businessman in the games. He was a mysterious character, even at a very young age. And so Warren Brock has to be the same person that controls Wiseman and all the other characters that Wiseman was associated with. So that's just something to think about, because you don't really see too many people talk about this online.